Imagine this. What happens if you go missing on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from the nearest coast guard? Every year, over 30 million people step aboard expecting the perfect vacation. Unlimited food, ocean views, umbrella drinks before noon. But behind the pools and buffets is a world most passengers never see. Crimes happen with no police for hundreds of miles. Outbreaks can trap thousands at sea. And thanks to the bizarre laws of the ocean, justice isn't always as simple as calling 911. So who's actually in charge out there? And what really happens when something goes wrong? Let's find out. Why it feels so safe, and why that's the trick. Cruise ships are designed to make you forget you're in the middle of nowhere. Everything is prepaid: food, room, entertainment, all handled before you even step on board. No decisions, no bills, no reason to think. You just walk around and consume. That illusion is so well engineered, it turned into a $50 billion industry, carrying over 30 million people a year onto vessels that can hold more humans than some small towns. But here's what that illusion is hiding. The moment your ship clears the harbor, you're not just leaving land. You're leaving the entire legal system you've relied on your whole life. Think about that for a second. If something goes wrong in your neighborhood, you know who to call. Police, ambulance, fire department. There are laws, courts, and local authorities only minutes away. At sea, it's different. A cruise ship isn't just a floating hotel. It's a tiny, moving nation with thousands of people, hundreds of crew members, and its own internal chain of command. The captain has enormous authority over what happens on board. And in many situations, the cruise line conducts the first response long before any government agency can get involved. And here's where it gets even stranger. Many cruise ships aren't even registered in the country where the company is based. A ship owned by an American company might be legally registered in places like the Bahamas, Panama, or Malta. That's called a flag of convenience. And it determines which country's laws often apply while the ship is in international waters. So if a crime happens hundreds of miles from shore, the answer to a simple question, who has jurisdiction, suddenly becomes anything but simple. Because in the middle of the ocean, there isn't always one clear authority. There can be multiple countries involved, or sometimes no immediate law enforcement at all, and that legal uncertainty is where some of the strangest cruise ship stories begin. The line where the rules change. Go look at the back of your ship next time you're on one. There's a flag on it. It's probably not American, even if the company is headquartered in Miami. It's Panama, or Liberia, or the Bahamas. That flag isn't decoration. It's a loophole cruise lines pay millions for. The instant your ship crosses 12 miles offshore, it legally becomes a floating piece of that tiny foreign country. And American law mostly stops applying to you. This trick isn't new either. Back in 1919, during Prohibition, a ship called the Belén Quezada quietly reflagged itself from the US to Panama, instantly turning into foreign soil so bartenders could pour drinks the second they cleared US waters. The modern industry just scaled that same loophole up to $1 billion level. Here's what that actually means for you. If something happens on a Panamanian-flagged ship, Panama is technically in charge of investigating. Not the FBI, not local police. And Panama's maritime office is small, underfunded, and paid millions in registry fees by the same cruise line it's supposed to police. This isn't theoretical. In 2011, a 24-year-old crew member named Rebecca Corium vanished from a Disney cruise ship in the middle of the Pacific. To this day, no one has ever been charged, in large part because of exactly this kind of jurisdictional tangle between the US, the UK, and the Bahamas, where the ship was flagged. And it's not just missing people the law gets weird about. It's the ships themselves. In 2010, a fire crippled the Carnival Splendor, leaving thousands of passengers without power or working toilets for days, drifting in near third-world conditions, all so the company could dodge a massive legal claim. Two different emergencies. Same underlying truth. Out here, the law isn't there to protect you first. It's there to protect whoever's flag is flying overhead. That's the moment the coastline disappears behind you. The rules you've trusted your whole life quietly get replaced by rules almost nobody understands. The hidden city beneath your feet. While you're eating dinner on Deck 12, there's a hallway directly underneath you where hundreds of workers are sprinting flat out, hauling luggage, food pallets, and trash through a corridor crew literally nicknamed I-95 because it functions like a highway. You will never see it. You're not allowed to. These workers aren't on vacation. Many work 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week, for 6 to 10 months straight. And when they board, their passports often get taken by the ship's finance office. Officially, it's for faster customs clearance. Functionally, it means they can't just walk off. There's also a rigid, mostly unspoken caste system running below deck. Officers, usually from wealthier countries, get windowed cabins and access to guest areas. Regular crew, often from the Philippines, Indonesia, or India, are packed into windowless rooms below the waterline and banned from guest spaces unless they're actively cleaning something. So they build their own economy in the dark. Ship Wi-Fi is priced like gold, so internet access literally becomes currency. Freshly pressed uniforms get traded for good cuts of meat. Cleaning favors get traded for Wi-Fi cards. And there's a crew-only bar hidden somewhere below deck, selling dollar beers, quietly holding together the mental health of thousands of homesick strangers. The illusion upstairs only works because of the invisible machine running underneath it. What happens when someone vanishes? 2:47 a.m. A bartender closes out the last tab of the night. Seat 12 never came back for their card. By 3:15, security pulls the cabin's keycard records. No re-entry logged. By 4 o'clock, they're scrubbing hallway camera footage, deck by deck, hour by hour. By sunrise, the captain makes the call nobody wants to hear. Turn the ship around. But the ship has already traveled dozens of miles. Ocean currents don't wait. And here's the part almost nobody knows. Cruise ship security teams are trained to handle theft and drunken disputes, not disappearances. There's no detective on board, no forensics unit. Evidence gets mopped up, thrown out, or washed off a railing within hours, often before anyone even realizes a crime happened at all. By the time the ship reaches the next port, jurisdiction still has to get sorted out. Whose flag? Whose waters? Whose case? And while 3 different countries argue over who's actually responsible, the trail that was already cold is now ice. That's how you get cases like Rebecca Corium's, not because no one cared, because the entire system was built to slow down exactly the kind of urgency a disappearance needs. the unsettling truth. So are cruise ships actually dangerous? Statistically, no. Out of tens of millions of passengers every year, serious crimes and disappearances are rare, rarer than your odds back home. These stories feel massive because they're unusual, not because they're common. A disappearance at sea makes headlines for weeks. A disappearance in a random city barely makes local news. Your brain just isn't built to weigh rare and dramatic against common and boring fairly. But maybe that's not really the point. Cruise ships aren't unsettling because crimes happen every day. They're unsettling because the moment the coastline disappears behind you, you've stepped into one of the last places on Earth where the rules you've trusted your entire life quietly stop applying. And the only law left is whoever's flag happens to be flying above your head.